Yay guys, welcome back to another episode of The Mind of Reese. I am about to head to Costa Rica and I am so excited. Actually, when you get this, I'll probably already be in Costa Rica. That is so fun. Today's episode is going to be about what are our actual goals? Is happiness really the goal? What is the real goal here? And so we'll get into this in deep dive. But before we do, we always know we're just, going through the things that are going on right now in my world. So let's see. We got one thing in my world is that anybody that really loves this podcast and is really down to, take some time and show it some love and give a review. Would love that. If you can screenshot that and post it on your Instagram and tag me, I will send you over a gift. We're going to get your address and I'll send you over some goodies. We're thinking about what I'm feeling and what I'm channeling through and downloading from the universe and source. It's just saying maybe a care package, and whoever does it, I'll kind of just feel into and channel through what it is I want to send you. And this will probably be a box of books and maybe some crystals and just some really fun stuff that really help me in my own rituals for being the visionary of my business and of my life. And so for anybody that does that, we will send you on over something, and we'll do it for the first 15 to 20 people. I just feel like that just sounds like a really good number. So we'll send it. Number 2. So I have a brand new program coming out called UnFuckwithable. And I love this name. It's all about really owning mastering the inner game to walk with your fears. It's really about alchemizing shame and insecurities into unapologetic expression and a lot of unstoppable confidence. We lead with unshakable personal power that creates massive and effortless overflow in life and business. This is going to be a super fun fucking class. This is about really how I have 10x'd my business in the last 5 years, how I've 4x'd my coaching business in 1 year, 2x'd my tattoo business, my entire company in 1 year. It's really about mastering the inner game. And a lot of people are like, well, I want the strategy and structure of things. And you can get that. Inspired Academy is really great for that. But this one is really for the people that are I am ready to take the next step. I'm ready to really be the authority and expert and leader within my business. I know I hold something unique that I am ready to uncover, and I'm ready to let that fullest expression shine. And so this is really super fun. It's going to be great. I say if you get in the show notes, there's a link. If you're on the email list, you will get a cheeky, fun early bird special from me as we enter into this. And I'm not going to say what dates they are yet because I'm just going to spring it on everybody. So if you're really feeling the call to do this, and this is for tattoo artists, entrepreneurs, healers, guides, for everybody. I kind of was just I want to open it up to the floor for people who really feel like they're ready for that next level. And Number 2, I am in the realm of finding 2 more VIP clients. We had 1 VIP client sign up just recently, which was fucking amazing and super stoked is that. So now we have 2 slots left. So this is for the people that are ready to go to the next level in their tattoo empire, meaning that they are ready to either become educators and coaches and mentors and ready to start creating those products and their product suite and really just entering into the whole educational side of business and creating passive income. This is also for the artists ready to up level in their, in their alignment within themselves. It's really just taking your business to the next level in whatever capacity that might mean, opening shops, going bigger with shops, opening more than one shop, creating passive income streams like becoming an educator, coach, and mentor, realizing how to create those, educational pieces, how to sell them, how to get people in, all of these things. It's basically what I do in my business. My entire company is revolved not only around tattooing, but I own tattoo shops. I've worked with people. I know how to create team. And so it's really just the overall encompassing, we're ready to go 6 figures and beyond. We're ready to fucking do this thing. We're ready to create passive income. We're ready to have more ease in our lives and businesses. And the reason why this is so different than most other VIP, inner circle one-on-one containers is that I really love to, we have a 3-month and a 6-month, but I really love going and diving deep with you, because the more that we get to know you and each other, the better it is that I can help serve you and how we move through your business. And this is the greatest, most fun part, because then we really can get into and dive deep to the nitty gritty, because a lot of it is internal work in order to realize the external. And everybody wants the strategies and structure, which you will get, but it's always about, we always forget that it's the inner game. And that's why I love UnFuckwithable coming out, because it is the inner game. And so this one is just diving in deeper. I'm calling in 2 of you. I know you guys are out there. Another wonderful, beautiful thing is that we're opening up is our visionary mastermind. And I'm calling in about 8 to 10 artists who do desire to become mentors and educators. And this will be a group mastermind, meaning that we will have 8 to 10 visionary artists who are ready to create passive income and to create educational products. Educational online products. They want to sell something, they're ready to do that. They're ready to share their knowledge and share that out with the world, and they want to figure out how to do that. I've created a hands-on live program around this, and this is a 3-month program for 8 different artists who really desire to do this. They have an idea, they feel the call to be a coach, they're ready to be an instructor, they want to be an educator, they want to be a mentor, and they just want to learn how to really create a side hustle, another business within their business that goes above and beyond. And again, this is the greatest way for passive income. You know, I don't only rely on tattooing, which is great. So now tattooing is just for fun for me right now, and I just get to do it because I like it. And coaching has just been one of my greatest joys in this next iteration of my life. I've been tattooing for 12 years, so it's like, yeah, let's get into coaching. So now this is for that. So those are 3 beautiful things that I am opening up. Everything is in the show notes. If you would like to dive deeper onto any of that, I love one-on-one calls with you guys. So let's get into this episode. Love you. Welcome back to another episode of The Mind of Reese. I am so excited to be here and to be talking to you guys all about why happiness is actually not the goal of life and business. And this is a topic that actually came up during one of my Inner Circle VIP one-on-ones with my Inner Circle artist, one of my artists. And it was just, like, I just want to find happiness. And that was something that really, stuck with me. And the one thing I was saying, it's like, oh, we want success and happiness. We want this success and we want this happiness. And it's always something outside of us, right? It always feels like it's something far away. When I think about it, I'm like, but happiness really isn't the goal. It's the byproduct of living in your highest alignment. So instead of looking for happiness or success, let's search for fulfillment and trust that our happiness and success will meet us there, because it will. The moment that, you feel you're most alive, when you feel on fire, you're like, yes, I'm killing it, I'm in flow. That is when you know that you are following in your highest alignment. That means you're following in your purpose. And so when we are searching for our purpose and looking for that fulfillment within our purpose on the pathway to our purpose, because our purpose is like our entire life, we are constantly on that journey. And my partner, my boyfriend, had made a mention. He was like, yeah, it's like taking a taxi to the next Uber, the Uber to the next, Lyft, the Lyft to the next train, the train to the horse. It's like we're constantly hopping on different things because our career is not our purpose. It's just one drop in the ocean that is our purpose. And so it's about the embodiment. It's about the living, breathing, truest form of yourself is what is going to create the happiness and the success and the wealth within your life. So living in your highest purpose will bring us success and therefore happiness, because happiness is just the natural indicator that you are living in your alignment to your purpose. It's like our inner compass, our unique true north. Happiness is not the goal, but the byproduct of owning your truth. Okay, so when I look at the things that make me happy, I'm like, fuck yeah, this is lighting me on fire. I know it's awesome. But I also want to look at it from this perspective that it's not only just like roses and rainbows. Like, it's not about escaping the moment for something fleeting. And it's not about always having like a smile on your face or a prize vacation after years and years of work. A lot of times it's like the fire in your belly. the feeling inside you that yearns to do something greater than yourself. It's being the vessel and the conduit of universal wisdom to flow through you. It's like your universal creativity that flows through you. It's creating and strengthening that connection to source. Your journey toward embodying your purpose won't only make you happy, but it will make you fulfilled, awe-inspired, and excited. But it will also trigger the fuck out of you, scare you, and you will feel so unprepared for it. And that is the totality of the human experience you are meant to feel, to that full range of emotions that comes with following your inner alignment, because our purpose is our life force. So it's really not looking at it from a perspective of only things that make me this fleeting happiness. We are looking for pure joy, pure fulfillment, because fulfillment doesn't always mean that I'm going to be happy, but I know that I'm on the road to getting to happiness. Sometimes we have to go through the hard shit in order to get to the happiness. Like, happiness is not escaping reality or waiting for life to get really good, a destination. It's not always a smile on your face or avoiding challenges or keeping your best ideas to yourself. Happiness is the journey. It's creating the life that you fucking desire. It's changing your reality and choosing challenges that will bring you further toward your truth. It's seeing others benefit from your gifts. And as long as you're anchoring back to your truth, you will always know the next step, even if it feels far away. You will always know. Because the reason is that we remove ourselves from the analytical mind and the ego mind, and then we pop down into our hearts and know that deeply, truly, we already have the pathway. We already know where we're meant to go. But the thing is that we also have free will. Not everybody is going to fulfill their purpose, because we have free will. We have free will to choose to go to the escape part, to go to the comfort zone, to feel the fleetingness of happiness and like chase that fleeting quote unquote happiness that we desire. It's like, oh, I'll just have the chocolates today or something of that nature. It's like when you're like, let's say you're on your fitness journey and you're like, oh, well, a chocolate today, and then I'll just start tomorrow, and I'll start tomorrow. It's like, yes, I'm just getting this fleeting happiness. And then all of a sudden you talk yourself into it from your ego perspective. It's like, well, I should be able to be happy and live my life. And it's like, there is a nuance to that as well. It's like, well, happiness is not the goal. If fulfillment is the goal and I want to feel fulfilled, if that means that taking care of my mind and my body is going to connect me deeper to my soul's purpose, then I am going to devote my life and time and attention and energy in order to make sure that, yeah, maybe right now this might make me happy, but at the end of the day, what am I actually looking for? I want to feel complete. I want to feel whole. I want to feel fulfilled. When we talk about holistic business, we're talking about the whole business. And that's the reason why it's really hard to have a holistic business, because not everybody wants to look at it from a whole perspective. They only want to take numbers and analytics and metrics and determine their success via that way. And then when they get all the numbers, analytics, and metrics all on the quote unquote right, on the like the right path, and you're making all this money and whatever, and you still don't feel fulfilled, then we start to realize, wow, we maybe need to take a turn, you know? And so where I find this really, really just like there's a lot of liberation in this, because then this also lets us know that if happiness is not the goal, then there are a myriad of millions and millions of different types of emotion from this human experience that we are meant to feel. If they weren't named, if we weren't meant to feel them, we wouldn't have them. And so this is the reason why it's so important to really understand that it is your journey will feel like you're anchored in fucking, oh yes, in belief, but then you will be quivering in fear, and you'll have complete clarity and then also complete doubt. You'll feel in total alignment and feel in total failure. Like you'll feel imposter syndrome, and then you'll feel so rooted as the expert and authority of your business. That's meant to happen. That means you're actually on the right path. And this is the reason why we get the full scope of the human experience, is because it's meant to strengthen you so that you can truly share your wisdom with the world. And this is where we get to own our truth. And this is where I'm like, That's the goal. I'm not here for some fleeting experience. I'm not going to, I don't just take a vacation because, I deserve a vacation after 4 months of working my ass off. It's like, I don't look at leadership I don't look at life as I just don't look at leadership as a series of, I just don't look at life as a series of trade-offs between business and life. Like, I just don't look at it that way. I don't look at leadership as a series of trade-offs between life and business. As a leader of my own purpose, I look at it that leadership is about business and it's about life as well. And where we continue to hold this unity within our balances, within the polarity that we hold, we can hold the duality between life and business. We can hold the polarities. We can hold the difference of masculine and the feminine energies and keep them in balance at all times. Like, they're always going to be in balance, or they're always going to be imbalanced. So it's like, I can have that balance. I don't have to choose to live my life via the conditional living of this or that. I'd rather live through it from like the ands. And I wrote about this on Instagram the other day. It was just like, I don't lead a life with an or in anything. I can only have this or that. It's like, no, I want this and that. I want to be able to have both. I want to choose what I want to fucking do. And I want to do it from a unconditional space where it's like, I'm not only doing it if I make X amount of dollars. I'm not only doing this if this or that, if this works out or it doesn't. I'm like, no, if I'm going to truly live my life from a perspective of fulfillment, and if I know that I want to do this, and if this is the nudge that I'm receiving from the universe, I'm going to go do it. It's going to be figured out. When people ask me, how do you know it's going to work out? I always say, it's going to work out. Why? Because it always does. Even if it's from a perspective that I don't know, I'm going to figure it out no matter what, but I'm also going to trust in the universe that it has my back. I wouldn't have that idea if it wasn't meant for me to see it through. We don't ever have ideas that pop into our heads, the little nudges, the little like pushes that pushes us into a certain direction if we're not capable of doing it. We are all capable of realizing our dreams. But again, we also have free will. So this means that I could totally be feeling a call and I don't take that call because it just doesn't, how can I even make that make sense? It's like, how can I even fathom that even making sense? Last year was a huge experiment for me, how I was like, I'm going to take the whole month of December off and I'm just going to choose to do certain things, like spend $90,000 in mentorship. And this was like, I wasn't doing it based on condition. I was like, no, I'm just doing it because I want to. I remember even at the beginning of the year, I was like, well, if I make $500,000, then I will take all of December off. But I was like, but if I got to wait till at the end of December in order for me to know or determine I'm going to make $500,000. So how about instead, I'm just going to say, I'm going to make $500,000 and I'm taking December off regardless. And whether or not I hit that goal, it didn't matter. I was like, no, there's no condition on that. If I know that if I'm able to do that, I'm going to. Now, I'm not saying that it's just like drop everything and do whatever it is that you want to do, but it's also like, don't wait until you hit some milestone in order to do something with your life. The reason why you have that nudge is because you are meant to go there to figure it out faster. The moment that you end up doing that, the moment that I went to the Amazon rainforest out of nowhere, made me realize how much my integrity meant to me, how much I was like, I just want to anchor into my truth so hard so that I could be fully expressed and not give a shit on what I want to talk about. It doesn't always have to be around business or whatever, even though it always ties back to business in some capacity. I always, there's always a new level for me when I realize these things. I'm like, oh wow, this new level, this new level, this new level. And we realize those new levels faster when we follow the nudges within our heart. And we realize like our dreams are actually much more attainable and actually much closer than we think when we just follow the nudges, when we follow the curiosities. Because the moment that we start judging it, the moment we lose curiosity. The moment we start judging our dreams and judging the pathways and, XYZ, how are we going to do this? It's like, how about, here's the goal. Let me see if I can reverse engineer it from here and then see what happens. Even this year, this is like a huge experiment for me. And for me to declare this out right now, I'm just like, fuck it. Like this year, I want to make $1 million. I'm going to make $1 million. Whether or not I do, it doesn't matter. But the fact that that's where my mind is at, I have already, in my own mind, I'm like, okay, these are the few things that I can do that will help me with that goal. But at the end of the day, I am totally leaving it up to the universe. I am putting more trust in the universe than all of the doing than I've ever had in any year before. And how do I know it's going to work out? I just know. I just believe it because I am me and I know I can get myself anywhere. And that's the thing, is that yes, you will have fear, you will have doubt, and you will have moments that feel like failure. But at the end of the day, it's like we also get to turn that around. We also get to change the perspective. Our thoughts create the reality. So if I look at it from a different perspective after I've given myself the moment to feel those things, and this is what we call emotional mastery. This is us spending the time, the destination to getting through the mastery of the thing. It's not about getting to a destination. There's no destination. Destination is death. And then again, that's just it's stepping stone to a different destination. There's like no destination. So if I'm going to live the totality of my human experience on this 3-dimensional rock, and if my purpose is to literally raise the consciousness of the planet, then why not just go full send and trust that I've got me? Trust that you've got you. And this is where I think the inspiration feels really like high end right now, because I am about to go to Costa Rica, and it was something that it was planned. I was like, oh, December came around and we were in Bali, and I knew I wanted to take my boyfriend somewhere nice for his birthday, which was in March. And I was like, well, we better do it now because I'm about to like book out until whenever. And we ended up booking about a bunch of days out for work. So end of April was like the soonest time I could do it. And I was like, yeah, let's just book it. So I booked us 2 business class, flights to Costa Rica. I was just like, fuck it, full send. Like, I didn't need anything. I didn't need a condition to do it. And this is where, it's funny. I could have talked myself right out of it. Well, I don't know how much money I'm going to make at that time, or, well, this or that. It's like, I got me. I know I've got me. And I'm not I'm not going to live a conditional life, and I'm not going to live a predictable life. Like, if I wanted a predictable life, then I'm going to take predictable action, which is like save my money, do all these things. It's like, no, I'm going to spend the money that I have now, knowing that I'm just going to make it back. That's it. We do these things. We invest in ourselves. We feel the nudges and we go for it because we know we're like, this is somehow going to be a part of my journey to realizing my purpose even further. And if I can get there faster, if I can realize it faster at a younger age while I'm still like kicking like a crazy lady, then fuck yeah. I don't want to wait 10 years before I start feeling into the curiosities and taking movements and taking action. I want to do that shit now. This is a big reason why I don't watch television, and the big reason why I don't go out to bars and drink is because I'm like, I want to spend every waking moment learning new things and really finding the depths of my soul and really getting that discipline and devotion within me to really connect to source, because I really, really, really want to trust this. I really just want to know that I'm almost praying for one of those awe-inspiring moments where it just shows me it's here, she's here, she's helping me, and I get them all the time in synchronicities, in way flow, and the way that flow goes, and everything like that. And so this is where I find I'm noticing that I can really start to pick up the momentum and the idea that yes, I am following in my highest alignment. So there is this Eastern spiritual belief around, they call it Kriya and they call it karma. We all know what karma is. For some of us, we know a meaning of karma, which is you do this, I get that. It's what goes around comes around kind of vibe. But karma actually, and this is the belief, around what karma actually means. So karma just means action. So it means that you will get karma on the moments that you are off of your aligned path. So every time you move away from your highest purpose or your highest path, or the path that you're meant to go, it will be hard. You'll get a nudge, and then you'll get a push, and then you'll get a slap, and then you'll get a punch, and then you'll get a full-blown car accident, and it's like sometimes those are the moments where we hit rock bottom for us to realize that we no longer have to identify as the person that we've been on autopilot with for our whole lives. We no longer have to identify as that person. And so when we have karma, these are the moments where we are actually, since we are not creating like the magnetism and like the motion and the energy, so it's like cause and effect. Since we're not causing an effect, we just cause an effect. So we just there's a cause, and then we just react to it instead of us creating the effect and owning our own reaction. And so this is a lot on neuroscience, where it's like the actions that we take, whether they are in alignment or not, are always going to be for our highest good, because they're always meant to bring us back to alignment. So that's what karma is. But when you're in Kriya, this is flow. And they call this Kriya because this is just flow. This is when things are just happening. All of a sudden, you have clients falling from the sky. You don't even worry about it. All of a sudden, you have a shop opens up, and then you have a big opening for that shop. And then all of a sudden, you have money in your bank, and then you were able to invest in that thing. And it's just things start happening because you're opening yourself up to the possibilities that it is for you. And you get curious. The moment that we're like, ooh, I really want to do that, but this, and that. It's like, always like, oh, I love that idea, but what if it doesn't work out? It's like, or it's like, oh, I have this idea. I wonder what it would feel like if it worked out. Like, ooh, I literally just gave myself full body chills by just saying that out loud. I want us to always look at it from a imagine if perspective. Imagine if it did work out. Imagine if, instead, when you get a bright idea and you want to get, I just recommend getting curious with it, asking yourself the question, ooh, what is it that I really want out of this? Ooh, how would I feel if this is what I got out of this thing? Ooh, and so every time I go to pick up a book or something, I really allow intuition to really guide me, because I know that I'm meant to read something that's going to spurn something else in me, whether it be one line in a total of a 400-page book that's going to spurn something inside me and something's going to click. Like the other day, I had said to someone, I said this earlier right now in this podcast, when someone had asked me, it's like, well, how do you know it's all going to work out? And I was just like, I was like, in my mind, I was like, because it's me. You know what I mean? It's like, do I know it's going to work out? Yeah, it is. And it's, it's funny because there was this part of me, that had thought back to that answer later on that day. And I noticed myself just feel this whole identity shift when I just decided that, yeah, it's going to work out, because of the fact that there are moments in time when I want to be in a neutral vibe and be like, well, I don't know, but I trust that it will. It's like, instead I owned it and I was just like, yeah, it's going to work out. It might not work out in the way that I think it might work out or that I expect it to work out. And hopefully I'm just going to have the lowest expectations on how it works out. So it's not as because every time we have an expectation, that's where it gets crunchy. We're like, oh, we're trying to force something. And then that's what happens, is the feeling of crunchiness, that nudge, that's karma. That's karma being like, well, Reese, if you're going to have this expectation, it's going to be a bumpy ride. But if you can just let go of that expectation, we can veer on back to the nice, smooth road. And that's where it's like, oh, okay, let me just open myself up to not having expectations. So every time we kind of veer off, it's like, oh, this doesn't feel right. I know this is scary. That fear. It's like, it's just because, we're having a moment that we're maybe falling into a pattern that's like, no, Reese, keep going. Keep going on this road, because identity shifts are huge. And the more that we can change, the better we can gain clarity to really serve in our highest purpose. And all of our purposes are so different. This is the reason why we all have different dreams. It's like for us, for most of us here, we're creatives, we're artists, tattoo artists, we're healers, all of the things. And anyway, we're all of those in one, whatever we are, whatever we decide to utilize as the modality of our healing, as the modality of raising the consciousness of the planet. It doesn't matter what it is, because that will change over time. This is the reason why it's so like when we get stuck in the identity of a certain thing, I am this, I am that, like declaring these things, it can sometimes be really putting us in a box. Like, I am a tattoo artist. It's like, well, I am not only a tattoo artist. And it was really funny for me to kind of let go of the idea that I am only a tattoo artist. It was really, really hard. And it still gets a little weird around it again, even today, where I'm like, I am totally a tattoo artist, but I am also a coach, I am a mentor, I'm a healer, I am, all of these things. Like, I'm a business owner, I'm a, homeowner, I'm all these things. I have like all of these things that I do, but all of them don't make me. And I could shed all of that and it still wouldn't make me. So it's really just like opening yourselves up to the possibilities, opening yourself up and being curious with life so that you're not shutting yourself off from all of the opportunities that could be right at your doorstep, right literally at your doorstep for you to walk through in order for you to realize more and more of your truth faster. Like, life is meant to be in flow. We were just taught that it wasn't meant to be. That's the reason why we're always like, oh, there's something good, this means something bad's gonna happen. And it's like, oh, the polarity of life, we gotta have something good with the bad. And it's like, no, like, your good could always be good because there's always going to be something out there in this world that's going to create a level of quote unquote bad. Like, everybody needs to be in flow, and there's so many people on this planet that aren't in flow, so the balance is already tipped in the scale of like bad. So we, as the humans that of the level of consciousness, the ones that are raised, the ones that are here, you, me, and everybody else that's listening to this podcast, we are here to create the balance. So the more in flow we are, the better we can create the balance for the planet. And this is where it's like, so wait a minute. I get to be in flow all of the time, and anytime I do feel a crunch or veering off or whatever, that's just karma trying to bring me back to flow. What a way to see the world, right? What a way to really realize the world is limitless for all of us. There's so many people. We are in a paradigm shift right now. We are in new earth. We are realizing a totally different life as we know it. The world is shifting, and it is exciting, and it's scary for most, and that's the reason why a lot of shit's happening. But the more that people can wake up, the better we can balance what's going on. And that's all the earth is asking us for, is just some balance. She's just like, please, I am trying here. I am trying to help you guys out, but you guys are just trying, you guys are just being counterproductive and almost solving issues that create more issues. It's like, it's just putting Band-Aids on things. And I said this in the last episode. It's like, short-term tactics are no good for long-term legacy. There's no gain. There's no gains in short-term tactics. We all want something super fast, but what if it actually is going really fast when you are in flow? Right? It always is. I think about it this way. I started my coaching business maybe 3 years ago in 2020, and I didn't really perceive myself as like a mentor or coach or educator. I was just like, I'm a tattoo artist who has educational stuff. And then in 2021, when I started to take it more seriously, and then by the end of 2021, I was like, no, I'm all in. I am all in. Like, this feels really good. Like, I'm feeling the nudge. Let's just go. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't have the time. And then all of a sudden last year came around, and I was both feet in, full send, let's fucking go, and realized a lot of things about myself that was out of alignment. And then that's what happens. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that that's out of alignment. That's something that I need to get back in alignment. And it meant that I was going to make less money. It meant I was going to make less money. I was going to, have a lot, there was just a lot of little different things that had to happen in order for me to realize this and to get back into alignment. And all of those old things about my old identity was like washing away. And it was hard. It's hard because it's a death, right? We have an ego death. But those things that were washing away, like my idea around money and my idea around success and what I thought success was and what I thought happiness was. And this is the reason why this podcast about fulfillment. And I was like, I feel way more fulfilled right now. And I already know that the more that I level up, the more that I take a moment to realign. It's like what I'm doing is like I'm taking an old house that has shaky foundation, and I'm like, you know what? I'm tearing it all down. I'm having a quantum and sacred restructuring, and I've decided that I'm going to slow it down in a perspective of like, hey, what more can I do to create more passive income streams so that I can realize my goal of, $1 million. Now I'm like, okay, here's this. Let me tear everything down. Let me restructure. Let me redo the foundation. Let me get really integrity. Let me redo all of the things that I have right now before I start trying to create up, and then create up. So now I've like redone all of my programs to where like they are on another level. They are so on another level. For all of my students out there who listen to my podcast, I love you guys so much. This is, it's like I am doing these new programs at a different level because I've learned so much. I've literally dedicated my time and energy because I love it. I know I'm in my purpose because every moment I get, I'm like, what else can I consume that will help my brain grow? Because like I just love it. Like neuroscience, I've gotten into neuroscience and gotten like my certification around like understanding like the brain, and with Dr. Joe Dispenza. And then there's also like these other things, like I'm learning all of these things. I've gone like to marketing classes, and I'm doing, I have like life coaching calls, and I have all these mentors, and I just love it. I love filling my time with that. And then on the on the other side, it's more like, oh, I want to fill it with more like artists who want to get coached and who really want to level up and really want to take their business to a new level, but from the inside out, and knowing that my expertise, where I really, really thrive in, is inner work. I love the inner work. I'm really good at it. I'm really good at helping people through their own blocks and through their own limiting beliefs so that they can realize their limitless potential. Like, I didn't know that I was good at that until I put both fucking feet in. And it was like, oh shit, like, tattooing is just the stepping stone. It's just one stepping stone on the totality of where we're going. It doesn't mean it's not part of the end all be all, but it also doesn't mean that it's like it is the end all be all. It just means it's one part of your entire life. And so this for me opened up so many ideas and doors, and it's like, cool. I'm going to start in all different directions. I want to help the people that are just starting in their tattoo journey. I want to help the people that are in their tattoo journey and want to realize something different. And I want to help the people that want to realize something different and go beyond. So it's just like there's all these stepping stones that I really want to create, but I have to make sure that the foundation is solid. And this is the reason why I love Inspired Academy for my tattoo artists and for other service-based businesses who, do one-on-one business, and how they want to utilize social media to really get their name out there. It's like, this is why I have that, because I'm like, here's the foundational program that anybody could use. If you're trying to re-level, if you're trying to restructure, this is a great program. If you're just starting off in your business, this is a great program. That's why I made it this way, because I'm also in my own quantum restructuring. Like, I've done 12 years doing things in a similar fashion. And then in the last 2 years, I was like, okay, it's time for me to completely tear everything all down, redo everything from a place of complete integrity and from who I am now, not from who I was 2 or 3 years ago. And then start to build up. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the next step. And it made me realize that also that I'm opening up a new shop. So like I dissolved my shop. I have no resident artists. I do have like guest artists that come through, but I have no resident artists, because I was like, no, I really want to find people that really want to resonate with me, and I will wait. And I know they're coming. I already know they're here. I've already seen them in my mind. And so I'm just like, I've seen them in the quantum. They are there. It's just a matter of when. And I don't fucking care. I can wait. I can be patient, because that is what this journey is about. That's me living in my highest fulfillment, is that I can be patient. I can absolutely be patient. And if that means that, yeah, I just gotta, it's going to work out. Like, that's all I think about. It's all just going to work out. If I got to work an extra day just to make sure that I pay rent, that's awesome. Like, cool. And then that's what we're going to do. But I understand the value of my time as well. So it's like my prices match that. They match that. So I already know that, like, no matter what I'm going to be doing, something is always going to come my way. Out of nowhere, I'll have people sign up for VIPs. Out of nowhere, I'll have people calling me to do speaker positions where I'm charging $5,000 a day. It's like, I just know the value of my time, and I know the value of my wisdom and my experience. And I just know that, like, this is what I know what's going to keep me fulfilled and happy and in my power to really give back in a huge and massive way. That's what I want to do. And that's what I'm here to do. And that's what we're all here to do. So this is why it's like, happiness isn't it. It's not it. I want to feel that fucking burning fire of conviction to fucking go. I actually want the crunchy so that I can process and move forward and heal those parts of myself so that I can grow as a leader and continue to fucking full send it. Like, I have fuck it mode written all over me all the time. I'm a full sender all day long. I'm going to put both feet in into everything I do. And when I'm realizing I'm not, then I fucking make sure they're both in. Like, there are moments where I think I'm full sending it, and then I'll check back and I'll like just reflect on it. And I'm like, oh wow, I'm actually not. Like, I am still tiptoeing around this and I'm tiptoeing around that. Well, then how can I get full in? And that's what we call leadership. And that's where we are going to realize that I don't have to have trade-offs. I can go to Costa Rica whenever I want. This year I'm going to Belgium, and I'm also going to Ibiza. I'm going, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just like two of the places that I'm going to now. I've been teaching and doing speaker positions twice this year already at conventions. And I'm like, yep, I see myself doing a lot more speaking gigs and a lot more teaching gigs, and a lot more. This year's also a lot about like community and sharing my gifts, and allowing my platform to be for others to share theirs. I'm realizing I'm like, I don't want to hoard my gifts, and I also don't want to hoard other people's gifts. I'm like, if my people can find their true north through maybe another person or another mentor or another guide or another educational thing, and they want to invest in that, fuck yeah. My whole goal is to raise the level of consciousness. If that's my purpose, that's every single person on the planet's purpose, is that's my purpose and that makes me fulfilled, then we're fucking going that direction. If you thrive, we all thrive. And for me, that's the end game. And that makes me feel fulfilled. That also brings me a fuck ton of happiness. And so there is the byproduct. And at the end of the day, even though I told myself this year, this is a restructuring year, and yeah, I won't be making as much, quote unquote, as I did last year, but somehow I'm going to make $1 million. I just believe in that. I'm like, yeah, I have what? It's at the end of April. I have plenty of time. And that's crazy to think. It's crazy to think because I'm making less than I did last year, and I made $600K last year. So I'm like, okay, I have the idea in my mind of how I'm going to do this. I have it in my brain on how this could work. But I also am so open to magic and miracles because I put my full faith and trust, and I surrender to the expectation of me knowing. Because if I want miracles, then it's something I've never experienced before. And that also means that it's something I have never done before. So I can't expect to know what I'm going to do because I've never done it before. I'm just going to say, hey, I'm going to be really, really brave when things pop up in my path. And if it feels good but also feels fucking scary, then I'm just going to put both feet in and go. But I can't tell you exactly how that's going to look because I don't know. But I don't want to know, because then it means that I've walked it if I know already. And then if I walked it already, then that's a known thing. And that's not a miracle. That's nothing new. You see, we're understanding where this is going. Like, this is a paradoxical thing. This is that, like, whoa, you're right. I am not going to know how I'm going to create a miracle, because if I know, then it's something I've done before, and that's not actually a miracle. That's not actually a new thing. That's not me doing something new and creating another result. That is me doing the same thing. And if I'm doing the same thing, that means I'm not going to create anything different. And so if I decide that I'm going to choose fulfillment over happiness, that means that I am also going to be choosing the crunchy, the quivering fear, the doubt, the failure, whatever else, the imposter syndrome that you might feel whenever things come up. But we know when it's the right path. Because when we have those things and we're like excited and afraid, when we're holding the duality of both clarity and doubt, alignment and failure, belief and fear, it's like, then we know that we are on the right path. And even though we can't see at the end of the tunnel, we trust. And that is the key thing. It's just trusting. You don't owe this life to anyone but yourself. You don't owe anyone this life. You do not have to explain yourself to anyone in this life. But at the end of the day, if you're at the end of your life and you have to explain it to yourself of why you never did this or why you never did that or how you wish, I already know I won't have that. I already know I won't, because I'm full send all the time. And when it's scary, I might not be full send right away, but I definitely know that I'm gonna make it full send in some capacity. Like, I offer myself the grace. I offer, and you are always on the right path. So it's funny, you can't even fuck it up. Like, karma's gonna bring you back to your path. Karma is going to bring you back to your path. And if you're not, and then when you have free will, yes, you have free will, and you can choose what is, what you think or is not or not in your alignment with you, because there's a difference between alignment and what feels good. And we have this conversation so much, especially if you're a long-term listener. It's like, we know the difference between what feels familiar and what is in alignment. And when we can be radically honest with that, then we can always come back to our alignment. And that's, case in point, foundation is integrity. And so for me, integrity meant it's not search for happiness. It's not search for comfort or complacency. It's, yes, I will have contentment throughout my journey, but I will also have scariness. I'll also have this full range of human emotions, because my soul decided to come here and decided to, my soul decided, like, this is the life we're going to live. This is the life we're going to choose. And let's go. If she can find herself, her way back home to her truth, to her purpose. And that's all we're doing in this life, is that we're just finding our way back home, remembering our purpose. That's it. We entered this life already knowing. We already have all of the answers in us. And so this is the reason why, when you're always going to be, when you anchor back to your truth, you're always going to know the next step, even if it feels far away. So, with that being said, my friends, I hope that you have the most amazing day. And I really hope that this hits home in some capacity and gives you a little bit more liberation around what happiness, what the goal really is here. Because I don't want it to just be, I'm going to search for an escape or a fleeting happiness that's over there. I want to choose joy now, because joy is a choice to have now, and fulfillment is a choice to have now. And I want to feel fulfilled and whole within myself now. And it's because we're going to be anchoring into ourselves first, and we anchor into our truth first. But again, in order to get to that truth, there is a lot of digging we got to be doing, and we got to heal and process all of those parts of ourselves in order to get to that truth. So we're doing a lot of jobs around here. So like I said, your career is only a drop in the fucking ocean of your entire purpose. Your purpose is to really, really find your truth and follow the alignment of that. And when you can find your truth after removing, literally, digging deep into all of the limiting beliefs and narratives and all the, everything that you have within yourself that really clogs those pipes, then you will get to your truth, and then you can start living in that. But we can do both simultaneously. We can still walk toward our goals. We can still walk toward our intentions and our dream while simultaneously cleaning up and healing ourselves. And that is the whole point of the planet. That is the whole point of the reason why you are here. Is a whole point in the reason why you're here, because the more that you can do both at the same time, the faster it is you will realize the dream life that you have, that you desire. And that's the beauty of this human experience that you and I get to share together. We're all just raising consciousness here. That's the only point. And so whatever it is that you do, whatever it is you decide to do next, whatever it is you're going to do simultaneously, whatever, it's finding your truth and following that truth's path. And that's it. And that'll be the byproduct of all the money, the happiness, the success, the life you've always dreamed of, wilder than your wildest dreams. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a great day. And if this podcast felt really good to you, please share it and send it out to your friends and stuff like that. I'm also doing a big fat giveaway for anybody who decides they want to, put a review on and review it, or even leave leave a review if you do that on Apple. But if you're on Spotify, if you could just if you feel the call to put 5 stars down and you want to screenshot that and send it, and you can just post it on your Instagram. I'm sending everybody some gifts, a little care package from me with like some books and some crystals and other just fun stuff that really just means a lot to me, because the more that we can share this out, the more that we can raise the level of consciousness on this planet. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next episode.